Have you ever said yes when every part of you was screaming no? Have you ever swallowed a feeling, held back a thought, smiled when you wanted to weep, and told yourself it was fine? If you have, then this story is for you. There was once a woman named Mara. She was not a quiet woman by nature. As a child, she had opinions about everything. She had a laugh that filled rooms. She had thoughts that arrived fully formed and ready to be spoken. She was vivid. She was alive. But somewhere along the way, Mara learned something. She learned that when she spoke her mind, people became uncomfortable. When she disagreed, the room went cold. When she said no, someone was always disappointed. And Mara could not bear to disappoint people. So she began to agree. Small things at first, a preference here, an opinion there. She told herself it did not matter. She told herself she was simply being kind. She told herself that keeping the peace was its own kind of wisdom. And the agreements kept coming. She agreed with her parents about who she should become. She agreed with her husband about where they would live. She agreed with her colleagues about how things should be done. She agreed with her friends about what mattered and what did not. She agreed and agreed and agreed, until agreeing became as natural as breathing. Until one day, it became more natural than breathing. Mara was 43 years old when she first noticed something was wrong. She was sitting in a meeting at work. Her manager asked her opinion on an important decision, and Mara opened her mouth and found nothing. Not shyness, not nervousness, just nothing. She tried again. Surely she had an opinion. Surely somewhere inside her there was a thought, a preference, a feeling about what was right. She searched. There was nothing there. That evening, Mara sat at her kitchen table for a long time. She tried something she had not done in years. She tried to simply feel what she felt. Not what anyone else needed her to feel. Not what was convenient or kind or appropriate. Just what she actually felt. She sat there for an hour, and she felt nothing she could name as her own. It was as if she had reached into the drawer where she kept herself and found it empty. The next morning, Mara went to visit an old teacher. This woman had known Mara since she was a child. She had known the girl with the full laugh and the ready opinions. She had watched her slowly become someone else. Mara sat down across from her and said, "I think I have lost my voice." The old teacher looked at her for a long time. Then she said something that Mara would carry for the rest of her life. "You did not lose it. You gave it away. One small agreement at a time." Mara was quiet for a very long time. "But I was only trying to be kind," she finally said. The old teacher nodded. "I know," she said gently. "And that is what makes it so hard to see. There is a difference between choosing kindness and disappearing into it. A candle that gives all its light without anyone tending to its flame does not become more generous. It simply goes out." "How do I get it back?" Mara asked. "My voice. How do I find it again?" The old teacher smiled. "You begin with the smallest possible no. Not a confrontation, not a declaration, not an argument. Just one small, quiet no, said to one person about one small thing. And then you notice that the world does not end. And then you say another. Mara went home. That evening, her sister called and asked her to help with something she did not want to do. And Mara said no. Quietly, kindly, but clearly. Her sister was surprised. There was a moment of discomfort, a beat of silence that felt enormous. And then her sister said, "Oh, okay, that is fine." And it was fine.
Over the following months, Mara practiced. She shared an opinion at work that she knew her manager would not like. She told her husband something she had been holding back for years. She told a friend that actually she did not enjoy the things they always did together, and suggested something she truly loved instead. Each time, she was afraid. Each time, the world kept turning. And slowly, like a hand that has been held closed for too long and is learning to open again, Mara found her voice. Not the loud, defiant voice of someone who had been silenced and was now fighting back, but the quiet, certain voice of someone who had simply remembered that they were allowed to exist. Here is what this story holds for us today. Every time you silence yourself to keep the peace, you pay for it. Not all at once, not in a way anyone notices, but in the slow, quiet cost of forgetting what you actually think, of forgetting what you actually feel, of forgetting who you actually are. You were not born to be palatable. You were not born to make every room comfortable. You were born to be honest, to have preferences, to disagree sometimes, to say no when no is the true answer. This does not make you difficult. This makes you real. And the people who are right for your life will not leave when you are real. They will finally be able to find you. Because here is the thing that Mara discovered at the end of her story. The people who had stayed with her through all the years of agreement did not love the agreeable version of her more. They simply had not known there was another version. When she showed them the real Mara, most of them loved her more. Because for the first time, they were meeting her. Your voice is not a burden. It is not an inconvenience. It is not something to be managed or muffled or apologized for. It is the only way anyone will ever truly know you. And being truly known by even one person in this world is one of the most profound things a human life can hold. So begin with the smallest possible no. Begin with one honest thought spoken in one quiet room. Begin with one preference named out loud instead of swallowed. That is how you find your way back. One small truth at a time. Thank you for spending this time with us today. If this story found you at the right moment, share it with someone who needs permission to say no. Leave a comment below with one word that describes something you have been holding back. I read every single one. Subscribe to Tales Studio Stories for a new wisdom tale every week. Stories that slow you down and remind you that you are allowed to take up space. Until next time, your voice matters.